Hello, I'm Lynn Sturman and I'd like to show you how I created this picture of a red panda in pastels on velour paper. I buy the paper from the Society for All Artists and they have a good choice of colours and sizes in both pads and separate sheets. The two colours I use the most are light grey and sandy. They also sell pastels recommended by Vic Bearcroft. He's one of the more well-known artists using this technique. The main thing to remember when choosing pastels is to avoid the ones that are very soft and crumbly because they don't adhere very well to this paper. I use hard pastel sticks and I also have some round pastels that are okay for the background and the underpainting. For very fine details such as whiskers, I might use Conte crayons, but they can be a bit too hard and scratchy for this surface. And I find that pastel pencils don't work too well either for the same reason. To start a pastel painting, I work out a composition first on some tracing paper, and I usually have several goes at this before I come up with something I like. Once I'm happy with the drawing, I turn it over and use a hard pastel stick to go over the lines on the reverse side, using each corner of the pastel in turn. And if the corners wear down, I sharpen the end of the stick with some sandpaper. Then I'm off again with 4 sharp corners. So I then turn the tracing paper the right way up and attach it to the velour paper with a bit of masking tape, and then I use a very soft pencil with a blunt point to trace the image down. It's important not to use a hard pencil or a sharp point because it could make a mark in the paper and that might cause problems later. Once the image is down, I start with the eyes in this case because they're so important and I want to make sure that I can get them right. Then I start thinking and planning where dark and light areas are going to go and make sure that they're going to be well balanced in the picture. Every time I lay some pastel down, I rub it in well with a scrunched up piece of kitchen roll because I'm not going to use a fixative spray. I find that fixative spoils the velvet texture and the pastel should stay on the paper if it's rubbed in well. So next I add a rough background with the intention of adjusting it later if required as the picture develops. Then I define all the outlines and start adding the underpainting. Then I start adding some more detail, and once all the basics are down, it's a matter of building up the picture using layers of pastel which will create depth and texture, making sure that each layer is well rubbed in. The fur is created by doing layer after layer of fine lines using the corners of a pastel stick and sharpening them on the sandpaper as soon as they're worn down. A mixture of at least 3 colours is used, overlapping each other, and I try to make sure that the fur looks tufty rather than in rows of straight lines, which doesn't look very natural. So here is the finished picture, a very cute red panda who lives at Chester Zoo.